I saw her messaging her ex at 2 a.m. She told me I couldn't handle a strong, independent woman. 15 days later, she was begging on my doorstep for another chance. But I was done. I'm 34, and for over a year, I believed I was building a real relationship with Jessica, 29F. In the beginning, things felt good. We laughed, we went out, we shared our plans for the future. But slowly, I started to notice things that didn't feel right. She would get angry over small issues, mock the things I liked, and turn simple talks into full arguments. Still, I told myself maybe she's just strong-willed. Maybe this is just her way. I didn't want to end things without trying. Then one night, everything changed. It was around 2 a.m., and I woke up to use the bathroom. The room was dark, but I noticed the light from her phone on the nightstand. I wasn't trying to look through it, but my eyes caught the screen. I saw a name at the top, her ex. The messages were right there, and they weren't friendly. They were flirty, like they had never broken up. And Jessica was still typing back, smiling at her phone, not knowing I was standing there watching her message him. I asked her what she was doing. She looked at me, smirked, and said, "You just can't handle a strong, independent woman." I couldn't believe the way she said it, like I was the problem for questioning why she was texting her ex in the middle of the night. My heart was beating fast, and for a second, I thought maybe I was overreacting. But then I saw another message pop up on the screen. It was him saying, "I miss how things used to be. Maybe we can meet soon." And Jessica had typed back, "I miss you too." She didn't even try to hide it. She just put the phone down, rolled over, and said, "Go back to sleep. You're making drama over nothing." I didn't sleep at all that night. I lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, thinking about all the times I had trusted her, defended her, and believed we were building something real. Every little red flag from the past year suddenly made sense. The times she took her phone to the bathroom. The moments she got defensive when I asked where she had been. The random nights she stayed at a friend's house because she was too tired to drive back. The next morning, she acted like nothing happened. She made coffee, scrolled through her phone, and talked about going out later. I kept my cool and didn't say much. Inside, I was burning, but I knew one thing. I wasn't going to confront her in anger. I wanted a plan. I wanted to be sure that when I walked away, I would never come back. For the next week, I watched her closely. I noticed she was always smiling at her phone, always walking out of the room to take calls. One evening, she said she was going out with friends. I waited 10 minutes, then checked her location on the tracking app we both had. She wasn't at a bar or restaurant. She was at her ex's apartment. That was the moment I stopped feeling hurt and started feeling cold. When she came home, I didn't say a word. I smiled, asked how her night was, and let her talk. Inside, I was already making my exit plan. I started moving my important things out slowly. My laptop, my papers, my savings. She didn't even notice. She was too busy living in whatever fantasy she thought she had with her ex. I stood there for a few seconds, trying to process what I had just seen on Jessica's phone. The blue glow of the screen still reflected on her face, her thumbs moving quickly, and even though I couldn't read the entire conversation, I saw enough to know exactly who she was talking to. The name at the top of the chat was one I recognized all too well. Her ex, the man she had told me was part of a past she never wanted to revisit. My heart dropped, and a heavy feeling settled in my chest. It was 2 a.m, and the woman I had loved and trusted was secretly messaging someone she had promised me meant nothing to her anymore. Jessica looked up at me, clearly caught off guard, her eyes widening before she quickly locked her phone and tried to hide it under the pillow. "Why are you up?" she asked, her voice carrying that defensive tone I had heard before when she knew she was doing something she shouldn't. I didn't answer right away. I just stood there, my mind racing, my emotions tangling into a knot I couldn't untie. Finally, I took a deep breath and asked the question that was burning through me. "Why are you messaging him at 2 a.m., Jessica?" She rolled her eyes and said, "You're overreacting. I'm a strong, independent woman, and I can talk to whoever I want. If you can't handle that, maybe you're not the man I thought you were." Her words cut through me like a blade. It wasn't just what she said. It was the way she said it. There was no remorse, no understanding, no attempt to even pretend she was innocent. She had turned the situation around, making me feel like I was the problem. In that moment, something shifted inside me. I realized that this wasn't just about a message. This was about respect, loyalty, and trust, things that should never be negotiable in a relationship. I didn't yell. I didn't throw accusations. I just nodded slowly and walked out of the room, leaving her sitting there in the dark. For the next 15 days, I barely spoke to her. I focused on my work, my friends, and my own sanity. I didn't answer her questions about why I was so quiet, and I didn't give her the satisfaction of a fight. I wasn't interested in arguments. I was interested in clarity. And the more time passed, the clearer it became. This relationship wasn't built on solid ground anymore. It was crumbling, and the person who was supposed to be holding it together with me was the one chipping away at it brick by brick. Then, on the 15th day, just as the sun was setting and I was about to sit down for dinner, there was a knock on my door. I opened it to find Jessica standing there, her eyes red and puffy, her hair messy like she had been crying for hours. She looked at me, her voice shaking as she said, "Please, can we talk? I made a mistake. I didn't mean to hurt you. I don't know what I was thinking. Please, give me another chance." She reached for my hand, but I pulled it away. I could see the desperation in her face, the realization that she had finally pushed too far. She was begging, something I never thought I would see from her. But as much as part of me wanted to believe her, to pretend we could fix things and go back to how they were, I knew deep down that trust once shattered is not something you can easily glue back together. I looked at her for a long moment, feeling a strange mixture of sadness, anger, and liberation. And then, I simply said, "Jessica, I was done the night I saw those messages. I'm still done now." The days after that conversation felt like a heavy storm that wouldn't let up. Every time I tried to sleep, I could see that image again. Jessica sitting there in my kitchen, trying to justify messaging her ex in the middle of the night like it was just a casual thing. I kept asking myself why she thought I would just ignore it, why she thought my love for her meant I would be willing to live in constant doubt. But then it hit me. She wasn't expecting me to leave because she had spent years believing that no matter what she did, I would stay. And honestly, for a long time, she was right. I had stayed through little disrespects, through moments where she put herself above us, through words that cut me deep. But that morning at 2 a.m., watching her thumb move across the screen with his name lit up, something inside me broke for good. 2 weeks later, on a Sunday afternoon, I heard a knock at my door. I opened it to see Jessica standing there, her hair messy, her eyes red like she had been crying for hours. She didn't try to keep up the strong, confident mask she used to wear. She just looked small, fragile even, like the weight of everything she had lost finally hit her. She said my name softly, almost like she was afraid to hear the sound of her own voice. Then she started talking fast. How she missed me, how she realized she had made the biggest mistake of her life, how she didn't care about her ex and it meant nothing, how she wanted us back. And then the words came that I had secretly imagined hearing once before. She said, "Please, I'm begging you. Just give me another chance." For a moment, I just looked at her, the woman I once thought I'd spend the rest of my life with. But all I felt was this calm, cold certainty. I remembered every night I spent wondering if I was enough. I remembered every conversation where she made me feel like I was lucky just to be standing next to her. I remembered how she told me I couldn't handle a strong, independent woman, as if respect and loyalty were optional in a relationship. And most of all, I remembered how easily she chose to give her attention to someone else in the middle of the night, while I slept thinking we were solid. I took a deep breath, and I told her the truth. I said, "Jessica, I'm not angry anymore, and I don't hate you, but I've realized that going back would just be me choosing pain over peace. And I can't do that to myself again." Her eyes filled with tears, and she tried to step closer, but I gently closed the space between us with my words. "You had me, and you lost me, and there's no coming back from that. She whispered something about how people deserve second chances, but I just shook my head. In that moment, I finally felt free. I wasn't carrying her mistakes on my back anymore. I wasn't trying to prove my worth to someone who never truly saw it. I watched her stand there for a few more seconds before she turned and walked away. Her shoulders slumped like the fight in her was gone. And as I closed my door, the only words in my head were the ones that defined everything I had been through. I was done and I chose my peace.